Listen up, Longevity Nation. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you, your steadfast advocate for health. Depression, heartburn, and arthritis. Depression, heartburn, and arthritis are the three major health complaints that the most drugs in the United States in the last year were sold for, to the tune of over $20 billion. $20 billion with a B. Your countrymen and countrywomen here in the United States spent $20 billion last year treating depression, heartburn, and arthritis. Depression, heartburn, and arthritis. Now, at Longevity, because of Dr. Wallach's wisdom and Dr. Wallach's methodology, we have science-based, clinically verified protocols in place to support and promote the structure and function of your brain chemistry, your digestive tract, and your musculoskeletal system. There are so many people in the world that need your help, it's not even funny. You know, I'm not looking for a longevity business builder that wants to work part-time. I'm working for a longevity business builder that just wants to work sometime. Because for goodness sake, just a couple of hours a day, just an hour a day, an hour of power a day can make a big splash in this pond, because everybody in this country is suffering with chronic nutrient deficiencies. The MDs are clueless about it. All they can do is throw drugs at it. It is a fistful of trouble that we have solutions for, a fistful of trouble that we have solutions for. So, you know, let's get it together. Let's rally, and let's make a difference in our world. That's why we're here. We're going to see what else Kay has to say. Hello, Kay. Welcome back. You are live.
Thank you for having me again, Doctor. We have still some more questions. I have a person that's dealing with a trophy kidney. The doctor took the good kidney out and left him with a trophy kidney. He is on a healthy body pack. And then I have another person. I want to spell this for you. SCIEROLSIS. Some type of skin disease. They're having problems with that.
Spell that again for me.
S as in Sam, C as in Charles, I, E as in Edward, R as in Robert, O, L as in Larry, S as in Sam, I, S.
No, I think you spelled that wrong. Is it sarcoidosis? Is that what you're trying to spell? Sarcoidosis, maybe?
Well, I know what sarcoidosis is. I'll let them call another time so we can talk about the kidney.
Yeah, okay, great.
Kidney.
Yeah, Now I've never even heard the word trophy kidney. Is it tophi in the kidneys? Tophi in the kidneys?
Well, this person describes it as a smaller kidney with little function.
Okay, so, and they already took his other kidney out?
That's correct.
Because there was nephrotic syndrome, and do you know why? Was he stabbed in the kidney? I mean, why did they take the other kidney out?
He didn't give me all that information.
Okay, so most of the time when we have kidney pathology, the problem is that the kidney itself is fine, but the blood flow going into the kidney has gotten jammed up. And what is it that jams up blood flow anywhere in the body? It's inflammation. What is it that causes inflammation in the blood vessels? Well, inflammation in the blood vessels most of the time is caused by wheat, barley, rye, and oats, oil in a bottle, all fried food, well-done red meat, the skins of baked potatoes, yams, and sweet potatoes, a carbonated drink with a meal, etc., etc., etc. We must stop eating the 10 bad foods. When we knock down our exposure to foods that generate inflammation, well, holy smokes, there's going to be less inflammation in the body, number one. And number two, then we have to strengthen, support, and promote the body's own fire department so that the body can efficiently put out the fires of inflammation and heal itself. And the best way to do that is with supplementing with selenium and antioxidants. Now, the recommendation for general health on a daily basis is 20,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. 20,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. But if there's inflammation at play in the body, if the game is already afoot, and in this case it is, otherwise they wouldn't have removed one of his kidneys, then we need to step up our antioxidant game, and the recommendation would be ORAC in excess of 100,000 a day. This person needs 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidant foods or beverages to go down the hatch every day, 100,000 ORAC points. I don't care how he does that. 4 bottles of selenium a month, 4 bottles of selenium a month, I don't care how much he weighs. 4 bottles of selenium a month, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per 200 pounds of body weight per month, and the Anti-Aging Healthy Start Pack 2.0 is best, appropriate for body weight. The Anti-Aging Healthy Start Pack 2.0 appropriate for body weight. Plus, of course, eliminate the 10 bad foods, and we keep our fingers crossed. Now, someone that has had one of their kidneys removed and the other one is smaller than it should be, this person is having signs and symptoms, subjective symptoms every day, like, not enough energy, I can't fall asleep, I can't stay asleep, I've got restless legs, I've got heartburn, I've got something, he's got something.
Yeah.
So my recommendation for everybody, quite frankly, that's been dealing with chronic illness for more than 6 months, is have him write down a list of all the things that are bad for him, all the things that bother him, on a daily basis, like insomnia, restless legs, back pain, whatever. Just have him write down a list, and once a week, you can even do it once a day if he wants, check in with himself and give that particular symptom a numerical score, like 1 to 10. 10 being, shoot me now, and 1 being, or 0 being it's completely gone. And that way they'll be able to see over time, numerically, whether or not the program that we're recommended is working. Because, it's a holistic program, and we expect, as we're waiting for the kidneys to improve their function, or the kidney to improve its function in this case, we expect other things to be happening into the bargain. And if this person pays attention to everything, because it is a holistic program, then life is good and life is better, and it's kind of a better way to judge the effectiveness of the program. But one of the secrets for this person is ORAC, 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 ORAC. And feel free to use one of my webinars, to help educate them about what that is, or my book even, okay?
Yes, we're subscribing this month. I don't want to keep any more of your time, but I have a lady on the line. She's a longevity rep. She has those same symptoms, fluid on her body, swelling, and tiredness. So would you recommend the same thing for her? She can speak for herself, though.
Well, the fatigue, that's the most common complaint that people go to the doctors with is fatigue. Everybody's tired.
Yes.
And then the doctor will tell you you're depressed and give you Abilify, and it's nonsense. So swelling, water retention in the body, the most common cause of water retention is not enough protein in the blood. And not enough protein in the blood is caused by either a faulty digestion of protein or not enough protein in the diet. That's usually a combination of the two. So what needs to happen in order to help your digestion is we have to eliminate the 10 bad foods. Because if you continue to eat the 10 bad foods, I don't care how many supplements you're going to take, your digestion is going to be crap. And that time the pun was intended, right? So she has to eliminate the 10 bad foods or this won't work, number one. Number two, start salting her food so that it tastes good. I want her to be liberal in her use of salt. Use table salt to make her food taste good, and don't be afraid of salt. Number three, every time she eats something, 50%, half of what's on the plate, I want to be a protein source. Eggs, fish, chicken, meat, rice and beans, mixed salted nuts. I don't care. Protein, 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 protein all day long. And the last thing would be to give her body the nutritional support that it needs. And in this case, it would be the Healthy Digestion Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight. Healthy Digestion Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight. tell you what, she's going to love how she feels in about 3 weeks. Just from stopping the 10 bad foods and adding a little more salt to her diet, she should see a remarkable turnaround. And then when you add the nutrients on top of it, holy smokes. Kay, you're going to have to...
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure. Too. Yeah, high blood pressure too. High blood pressure most of the time is caused by not enough calcium and not enough magnesium, which are 2 trace minerals that your body needs. And when you give your body back the calcium and magnesium it needs, the blood pressure slowly normalizes and becomes normal, and life is good. So given the fact that there's blood pressure at play also, in order to support and promote the structure and function of her cardiovascular system, a nice little add-on for her would be 1 bottle of Beyond OsteoFX a month. One extra bottle of the white liquid calcium, the healthy digestion pack, and selenium. And let's keep our fingers crossed and move forward. Kay, you're the greatest. Keep up the good work down there in Georgia. You are the best thing to happen to Georgia in a long, long time. From Georgia to Montana, I guess we're not going to stay on the East Coast today. We're going to go talk to Karen in Montana now about weight gain. Hey, Karen, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, hello, Dr. Glidden. Thanks for taking my call. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening with bated breath.
Well, I've been using the Healthy Start Pack. Basically, I have to have a cornea transplant, and I'm normally very active. And now with this, I'm not going to be able to do much activity, anything that will cause any pressure. So my concern, of course, is weight gain.
All right, Karen, stick around. We're up against a hard break. I'll dial this in for you when we come back. Appreciate your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. November 4th, November 4th, 2013. Let's get it straight. November 4th, 2013. Let's go back to Montana and see what Karen's up to. Now, Karen, are you still with me?
Yes, I am.
Now, what is it that you need a transplant of?
My cornea.
Your cornea. What,
yeah.
You have a cataract?
Oh, no, it was an injury. So it was scarred.
Ouch. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so how long are you going to be immobile?
3 months.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
You know, I mean, that's where I'm not going to be immobile, but I'm normally very active, you know, runner and weightlifting, and so I can't do anything that's going to cause any pressure because of sutures in my eye.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm, of course, concerned about weight gain. And
well, I've got some good news for you.
Okay.
By the way, folks, the cornea is part of the eye. It's part of the eye. So there was a study released by the United Nations, of all people, about a year ago, and it proved unequivocally that there is no relationship between exercise and weight gain. It does not exist. Exercise is irrelevant as to whether or not somebody loses weight or somebody gains weight. It's got nothing to do with it, or it's got nothing to do with why people gain weight. There's only one thing that causes people to gain weight. It's got nothing to do with exercise. What causes you, me, or the man in the moon, well, I don't know about the man in the moon. He might not be human, but the one thing that causes humans to gain weight is we eat too many calories, period. Now, you know, nobody in Dachau or Auschwitz or the gulags of Russia under Stalin who was overweight. I don't care what their pre-existing health condition was. I don't care what their age, their race, their sex, their height. Doesn't matter. If you don't eat, you lose weight. The problem is we're all nutritionally starved in this country because our medical doctors have no notion of medical nutrition. They're clueless about it. So when your body is nutritionally starved, it craves food in the desperate attempt to regain its minerals, calcium and magnesium and zinc and amino acids and essential fatty acids. But the food that we eat doesn't have those things in it, so we eat, and then we're hungry again, and then we eat, and then we're hungry again, and then we're eating, and we're hungry again, and what we eat doesn't satisfy our hunger, not for lack of calories, but for a lack of vitamins and minerals. So if the concern here is about gaining weight because you can't exercise, it's a needless concern. If weight gain is the focus here, then you must dedicate yourself for the next 3 months to eating about 1,500 calories or better, 1,200 calories a day or less. 1,500 calories a day, you won't gain weight. 1,200 calories a day or less, you'll lose weight. So, one thing you can do while you're not working out is start getting into the habit of counting calories. And just make sure that you eat 1,500 calories a day or less. If you do that, you're not going to gain weight, and then life is good. Now, attempting a limited calorie diet with an undernutrified body is impossible because you're swimming upstream, and it's only a matter of time until you get exhausted and you give up. But doing a limited calorie diet with the Healthy Start Pack and selenium coursing through your veins, it's easy. So what's your current body weight right now?
140.
All right, so what I would give you, especially because of the surgery, for 3 months, I'd give you a 200-pound dose. So the recommendation for you to support and promote the structure and function of your body to help it recover from surgery faster would be 2 anti-aging Healthy Start Packs.
Anti-aging start pack.
Yeah, 2 anti-aging Healthy Start Packs, because there's a product in there called Cell Shield RTQ, which is anti-inflammatory and really, really good for reducing inflammation to tissue, which there's going to be because of the surgery. I mean, that's what's one of the things that's a side effect of the surgery, right? And that's just normal and to be expected.
Sure.
The Cell Shield RTQ is going to be of a big benefit here for you, as will be selenium. And because it's the eye concentrates selenium more than anything else practically. It's interesting to note that in the animal kingdom, the animals with the sharpest vision have the most amounts of selenium in their eyeball. It's an interesting little fun fact to know and tell. So 4 bottles of selenium a month, 2 anti-aging Healthy Starts, and 4 bottles of selenium for the next 3 months. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. And if weight gain is a concern, just make sure you're having 1,500 calories a day or less. Bada bing, bada boom. Thanks for calling, Karen. Going to Kansas City to talk to Jay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, pulling back the curtain on the insanity inherent in the allopathic MD reductionistic point of view. It's jaw-dropping, eye-opening, and quite frankly, fractionatedly stunning the amount of incompetence and just oversight and lack of a steady course that's present in that medical system. I couldn't sleep at night unless I were an emergency room physician or a military field doctor if I had an MD after my name. Let's go to Kansas City and talk to Jay. Hey, Jay, thanks for calling, man. You are live.
Hi, Doctor. I just had a question about grains, and I know you talked about how bad wheat and barley and oats and rye are for the body. But I'm a bread lover. I'm wondering, is it okay to do some of the alternatives like millet, the sprouted seeds, someone told me was pretty good.
Sprouted bread.
Or some of the ancient grains like spelt.
Yeah, well, the answer is yes and no. Grains are not the problem.
Okay.
The problem is the protein that's in the grains. So the protein that's in wheat, barley, rye, and oats collectively is referred to as gluten.
Yeah.
And gluten is the problem. It's not the grain. It's the protein that's in the grain, and gluten is almost impossible for your stomach to digest. And so when you eat wheat, barley, rye, or oats, even if it's been sprouted, even if it's an ancient form of wheat, right, doesn't matter, it's still wheat, and it still has the same protein in it, more or less. the body, the stomach can't digest the protein. Now, protein is like it's like a string of pearls, and each pearl being an amino acid. And between the pearls are chemical bonds that keep the protein in place. That keep the pearls, on the string. It's your stomach's job to break the chemical bonds between the individual amino acids, liberating each one of the amino acids, kind of like breaking the string of pearls so all the pearls, now they're individual instead of all strung out together. Now, when this does not happen, which it never does when you swallow gluten, you get this big undigested chain of proteins tumbling through your digestive tract instead of the teeny-weeny individual amino acids. Now, your intestinal tract can suck up the eeny-weeny teeny amino acids, no problem. But when your intestinal tract tries to suck up the big undigested chain, it rips itself apart, literally. So this is the problem. The problem is not the grain, it's the protein that's in the grain. So you can have bread made from any grain that doesn't have gluten in it. And this is the key to the whole gluten-free thing that's sweeping the country now, which honestly I like to think there's a big gluten-free movement sweeping the country right now, and I like to think that Dr. Wallach and myself had a lot to do with that, and longevity.
Right.
Because we've been talking about going gluten-free forever now, and now finally everybody's talking about it, right? So, but remember, right, from the proper perspective, everything makes sense. So, yesterday, Sunday, we had gluten-free pancakes for breakfast. Delicious. And we had bacon that was nitrate-free, right? Now, I can't eat eggs. I'm allergic to eggs. I can't eat eggs. I can't eat a chicken egg. But, if I hadn't been allergic to eggs, I would have had eggs and bacon and pancakes and delicious. And for lunch this afternoon, I had a grilled cheese sandwich cooked on a skillet with butter and lard. Delicious. Made with gluten-free bread. I mean, life is good. So now there's a little opportunity here if you're a bread lover, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to make a bread that's gluten-free and tastes good.
No kidding.
There's a couple, I know, right? There's a couple companies that pull it off better than most. But if you are a kitchen magician and you want to have a little spare time and you want to do some experimentation, look, man, if you can come up with a gluten-free bread mix that tastes great, I'll make you a rich man in 12 months.
Yeah, I've tried a few. They haven't been that great.
They're not that great.
Yeah, so you got to poke around the vegetable patch until you find the ripe tomato. You just got to poke around the marketplace until you get your hands on good gluten-free bread. And it's the same, by the way, with anything else like pasta, right? The main ingredient in pasta is wheat flour. Well, you can't have that, but you can have pasta made from gluten-free rice flour. And so that's the problem. And also, every once in a while, this is an interesting thing to talk about, right? So every once in a while, someone calls the show and says, Dr. G, why can't we come up with a digestive enzyme that breaks the string of pearls?
Proteins?
No.
Yeah, that helps the stomach to break those proteins up. And I say, well, I mean, maybe we can, but it would probably burn a hole through your stomach into the bargain, right?
Yeah.
So it's not good. So you just got to hunt and peck until you find a gluten-free bread, and then just go crazy, man. And remember, the only other thing, right, that we need to pay attention to in this regard is calories. That's it. So, I mean, if weight gain is a problem, then you have to count calories, and that's harder to be on a limited calorie diet if you're throwing a lot of grains down your body because they're inherently filled with calories. But if that's not a concern, you're good to go. And, we're a longevity nation here, right? So when you find an awesomely delicious gluten-free bread, call me and let me know.
I will. Have you got just a second to talk to my wife? Had a quick question. Would that be all right? Or?
Yes, sir. You bet. That's why I'm here.
It'll just take a second. I promise I won't keep you. I'm thinking that it's probably time for me to take a blood test. I was just getting ready to hop out and do that tomorrow for sugar. And I really, there's no sugar problems in the family, but I've had some unusual health issues that I'm definitely not going to, take up your time here going into.
Well, all right. So that's all right. So that's easy though. So there's a website you can go to that we're not affiliated with. It's MD Lab Tests, plural. MDLabTests.com.
Okay, well, I get my test free, so I'd sort of like to do the freebies, but...
all right, if you get your test free, but often if you get your test free, you can't tell them, well...
But no point.
Yeah, so hemoglobin A1C is the test you want.
Okay, so I want to go to mdlabtests.com, and hemoglobin what? Hemoglobin?
Yep, A dash, then the number 1, and then the letter C. Hemoglobin A1C. Yep.
Is there any possibility our lab could do it?
Yeah, your lab, any lab in the country will do it. I just don't know what the parameters of your being able to order stuff yourself at your lab. I mean, if your lab lets you do whatever lab tests you want, just tell them.
Don't. Of course,
yeah, well, see, that's the problem, right?
I'm working with a pretty good MD that I like. I mean, there's a place for docs. I'm not going to fire mine. He's been pretty good, but I think most of the stuff that you're talking about, 99% of it can be taken care of what you're talking about.
Well, so the thing is, right, if your doctor is progressive and you like him, then your doctor's going to know about the hemoglobin A1C test. So...
Probably not, but you know what? They'll probably order it anyway.
Okay. Now, all right. So, but be advised, the hemoglobin A1C test has a very narrow reference range. It's very small. Okay.
Okay.
If you are at the high end of normal, you have a problem.
Okay. I got you.
See, because the way that, and I really should do a whole segment about this. I should do a whole segment about this on the radio, but
I wish you would.
The way that the lab testing is set up, because remember, MDs, bless their hearts, are reductionists, and they're not trained to fix anything. They're only trained to intervene once something's already broken, right?
Exactly.
So the reference range that they go by with their blood testing only tells you when something is wrong after it's already broken.
Exactly.
So you can have a hemoglobin A1C test that, according to the MD, is inside the normal range. Right. But according to me, it's a big flipping problem, and you better fix it now.
You got it. Okay. All right. I'll see if he'll let me do that. If he won't, then I'll have to go order one, through them and see what.
Yeah, it's like it's a $40 test, I think, $40.
Oh, okay. Well, will they tell you if it's in the medium, high, or whatever range?
Oh yeah. They'll tell you what the reference range is, and they'll give you a numerical score for your blood. And I think the reference range is 4 to 6, I think.
Okay. Someday, if and when you have time, and if and when it's possible, I want to talk to you about my daughters and my travails through the medical system with a genetic disorder that the doctors call very, very, very rare, and I really doubt it.
Well, call me tomorrow in the first segment. I've got 13 minutes, and I'll talk you right through it.
I thought you might find it interesting, and then again, maybe you wouldn't, but I thought you might. Because
no, I'll definitely find that interesting. Yeah, give me a shout tomorrow or any day. I'll look forward. I'm good. That's why I'm here, and I'm sure the listening audience would like that too.
I think it's important because there's a whole lot more people that claim to have this than they say do. And it's just, I could talk for hours on it, but I don't want to, obviously, and I'd have, a few minutes. But
well, also, our understanding is that there are things like Down's syndrome, which are dyed-in-the-wool genetic things, but even Down's syndrome, from our point of view, is not caused by a bad gene. It's not a genetic thing that you can inherit. It's caused by damage to a chromosome.
Right.
In utero.
Gotcha.
Now, once that switch is flipped, you can't unswitch it.
You can't undo it. I gotcha.
But there's a difference. There's a difference between having a gene which 100% of the time codes for a certain thing like Down syndrome,
Right.
which you can pass on to the next generation, you know, like the color of your hair or your eyes, right?
Sure.
There's a difference between that and damage to a chromosome.
I understand.
Damage to a chromosome is much more often the culprit, but the medical industry has been blind to it, and this is the foundation of the entire field of epigenetics, right? It's
when you have a little more time, I'll run it by you and see what you think, because we've gone on a three-year struggle, and it practically took, you know, I can't even tell you, moving mountains to even get surgery, which we did, I think, needed. My daughter.
All right. Well, I look forward to having that conversation. Appreciate you guys out in Kansas City. Keep up the good work. And remember, when you dial in that gluten-free loaf, you better call me up. I'll look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we do it here. One person at a time, one city at a time, one community at a time, one neighborhood at a time, one county at a time, one state at a time. We are populating our message of science-based, clinically verified health recovery through medical nutrition, formulated, delivered, and developed by licensed physicians. Medical nutrition for the masses. What are you waiting for? FireYourMDNow.com. Join the revolution. I'll talk to Rod in California when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Tired of the 9 to 5? Tired of the 40, 50, 60-hour work week? Tired of working for the man? Work for yourself. Work for yourself. Become a Youngevity member. Become a Youngevity business builder. Join Team Glidden. Join Youngevity. And let us show you the way to have a successful Youngevity business. If you follow our advice, you're not even going to recognize your bank account in 12 short months. Let's go to California now and finish it out with Rod, who's complaining about shortness of breath. Hey, Rod, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thank you so much, Dr. Glidden. My real estate agent had a cold about 2 weeks ago, and we went to the doctor, had all these tests and everything done because she was having shortness of breath, and they didn't find anything. They ran all kind of tests, but they told her she was fine. But she's wheezing. She can't walk upstairs. She can't walk anywhere. And every time she talk or walk or do anything, she has shortness of breath, but they haven't found anything with all the tests they've done.
Yeah, doesn't that make you feel just Jim Dandy about their competence? I mean, isn't that just great?
Unbelievable.
I know. And, you know, number one, she wants to figure out how much money all that crap costs. Number two, how much money she's paid in the last 10 years in medical insurance premiums, right, to give her access to all of that crap. And this is the thing that everybody overlooks because we forget, right? People forget how crappy it used to be. People forget what they did. So we'll spend $200 a month for 20 years. If we have a family, we'll spend $400 to $800 a month, sometimes more on medical insurance premiums. We'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of our lifetime just for the privilege of having access to the MD, maybe, at some time in the future when the crapola really does hit the fan. And then when the crapola really does hit the fan, we have to pay the premium, right? The deductible, that's a great term. Deductible, we got to pay $1,000 out of our own pocket just so we can sit at the feet of the MD. And then because we have good insurance, they do all of this testing that doesn't show anything, and we're still symptomatic. I mean, man, is there any other business that can do this? I mean, we wouldn't stand for this in the automobile industry, in the housing industry, in the waste removal industry. We wouldn't stand for this. But when the MDs do it, we just roll our eyes and go, oh, son of a gun, the MD knows much more than I do. And it's nuts, man. We need our flipping heads examined. So did all of this for your friend just kind of start out of the blue all of a sudden, or was there a slow build-up to it? Do you know, Rod?
Well, she told me she had a slight cold a couple of weeks ago, then she got rid of it, and then she had a minor shortness of breath, but then the cold came back recently and left, and she had breath was so short that she went to the doctor, to like the emergency room, and they ran a test on her. Then she went to her main doctor, to a specialist, and they ran more tests. and they were saying her lungs fine, her kidneys fine, this is fine, everything was fine. So, but she still, when I was talking to her yesterday, she couldn't get her sentence out without coughing and having shortness of breath.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, she probably has a lung infection and they missed it. I mean, that's the most common thing to think about, right? When your lung is fighting off a bacterial or a viral infection, everything becomes compromised, and if there's a little bit of a weakness there anyway, then it's going to be more difficult. So in order to support and promote the structure and function of lung tissue, the recommendation would be the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and that's a little confusing for people. It should be called the Healthy Brain, Heart, and Lung Pack. Honestly, it should be, but it's not. So we do one Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. One bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. And 2 bottles of Killer Biotic. 2 bottles of Killer Biotic. I want her to take 9 Killer Biotic a day until they're gone. 9 Killer Biotic a day until both bottles are empty, regardless of what happens to her lungs. Just have her finish all the Killer Biotic, 9 a day until they're gone. Last thing she can do is get an essential oil called Ravensara, R-A-V like Victor, E-N like Nancy, S-A-R-R-A, Ravensara essential oil. That's in Longevity. It's sold through the Ancient Legacy company. Ravensara essential oil. Have her put a couple of drops under her nose on her upper lip 3 or 4 times a day and take big, deep breaths. Breathe in that Ravensara oil all day long. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, Rod. You already knew I was going to say that. Have her stop the 10 bad foods, get her on board with those supplements, and look to see what happens. If I'm right, there should be a noticeable, measurable improvement within 7 days. Give it a shot. Thanks for the call. We're out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, God willing, back in the saddle tomorrow, 3 o'clock Central Time. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Live long and prosper.